If you want to continue to follow our adventure, click subscribe. So you don't miss anything, click the bell notification. Before I get started on this video, I want to make it clear that it is obvious that I'm not going to be able to please hardly anybody. Either I'm criticized because I am trying to endure a winter in an RV and I need to be smarter than that, or I'm criticized because I'm not trying to rough it more. Then I'm not out in the national forest in 20 inches of snow trying to be Survivor Man. I'm going to live in an RV and I'm going to do it in the winter time, but I'm not going to do it out in the national forest. It's too dangerous. As you can see here, we just got 20 inches of snow. Just a few days later, it's going to be a week later, we're going to get another batch of snow, somewhere from 6 to 8 inches, they're saying. With this next snow, it's going to get down bitterly cold. Colder than anything we've ever done in a camper before. Depending on what app or news source you listen to, it's going to be anywhere from 8 degrees Fahrenheit to 0 degrees Fahrenheit. I actually read one where it said -2 degrees Fahrenheit. Now 0 degrees Fahrenheit, I translated -17 degrees Celsius. I'm going to talk to you about what I've done to prepare for this all winter long. But I want to be absolutely clear. I am not advising you on what to do. You know, I use a heat source. A lot of people disagree with my heat source. A lot of people agree with my heat source. You use the heat source that you feel comfortable with. I am not advising you on the type of camper you should be enduring the winter with, your water sources, or anything like that. I've never advised on equipment, because it doesn't matter what kind of equipment you have. If you don't know how to use that equipment, it's dangerous. There's absolutely no way I would use a Coleman stove to heat if I didn't have 2 carbon monoxide detectors and flower pots over it to cover it so flames so things don't fall into the flame. That's fine if you think I'm nuts for doing it that way. Then that wouldn't tell me that you need something else to heat with because you feel safer and you know how to use something else. That's my advice. I mean, yes, my camper could burn down from my Coleman stove, but in my opinion, my camper could burn down with a buddy heater also. That is my advice. It always has been my advice. Another example, real quick, is the Berkey water filters. I get a lot of comments now that I've made a video about the CDC warning about water filters. You need to do what you feel safe with. I like the Berkey. Yes, I've recommended the Berkey. But in every video, I said, do your own research. It's very key that if I advise you on something, you need to do the research to make sure that is what you want to use. If you don't like it, then you should go choose something else. I'm not going to stay in the national forest. I know that's a disappointment to the survivalists out there. Just like I disappointed the folks that I was using a Coleman stove as my heat source. The reason I'm not going to stay in the national forest is there's just no resources out there. First, I can't get out there. But if I were out there and I were stuck out there, I would need to figure out a way to get back to civilization. There's no way I'm going to stay out there in the national forest, try to survive single digits or zeros or negative digit temperatures. And if you think about the dangers that are involved, sure, I have demonstrated all winter long that I can do this. I can live comfortably in the wintertime in my camper. But when you get down to temperatures where if your heat source fails, your blankets no longer keep you warm and you can't carry enough blankets to keep you warm, at that point it's too dangerous for you to survive. Look, living in a house can be dangerous in these kind of temperatures. If your heat source goes out, or I remember one time in a stick and brick, it was real cold, big snow like this. I think it was 2011, and the power went out. We had electric heat. Fortunately, we had a kerosene heater also, and we fired that up and was able to at least keep one room warm, and so we all huddled around that little kerosene heater. But there you go. I had enough storage space in a house where I had a backup supply of heat. In a camper, you don't have a backup supply. The only backup supply of heat I would have in the camper is to go into the cab of the truck, turn on the engine, and run the engine to stay warm while I sleep in the cab of the truck. But eventually you're going to run out of gasoline. The other option I could have done is buy a space heater and run the generator. But the same thing goes. The generator is going to run 1500 watts, which is really going to run up my generator RPMs. So I would run out of gas in the generator pretty quickly also. So it really brings me back down to just a propane heat source. I think most people would go with the flow as much as possible and say, okay, like I want to, and say, okay, I'm going to go to Arizona or Florida for the winter where it's warmer. That's what I want to do. But in these extreme cases, when you as a nomad don't have a choice to go to warmer climates, you need to figure out how to be safe. And I know that I am safe in a national forest with temperatures around 14 degrees and hotter. Below 14 degrees, heat source fails, I'm not safe anymore. So here I am, we're going to get below 14 degrees. So I'm going to go do what I've done so far, and I'm going to stay in town. And that's what my advice is to you. Go be safe. That's my advice. Go to town, stay in a parking lot, whatever you can do, or go to a hotel room, or stay near a hotel room. That way, if you get too cold, you can just go to the hotel room in the middle of the night. I'm not trying to be a survivalist. I'm trying to be a nomad, having to endure a winter. And that's what I caution everybody, is you are a nomad, and if you try to attempt staying in the national forest in extreme conditions, you're putting yourself at risk, and you're only running on luck. Thanks for watching. Click like if you liked the video, and happy travels.